People whispered her name in every corner of the hospital. That's Dr. William Carter's daughter, the girl who never walked. Her name was Emily Carter, a 2-year-old with bright blue eyes and long golden hair. She looked like every other child her age, except for one thing: her legs never carried her even a single step since birth. Her father, the most famous surgeon in the city, had saved hundreds of lives with his steady hands. But his biggest heartbreak was that he could not save his own daughter. No operation, no therapy, no medicine worked. Doctors from all over America came to see Emily, but they all shook their heads. Emily's world was a wheelchair. Every morning she watched other children run past her window, their laughter echoing in the streets. Sometimes she smiled, but deep inside her heart was heavy. Why me? She often whispered when no one was listening. Her father promised her every birthday, "Emily, one day you will walk. I will find a way." But as the years passed, his promises felt more like broken glass. Emily pretended to be strong, but at night she cried herself to sleep. Then came the day everything changed. A boy appeared outside the hospital gates. He was thin, dirty, and barefoot, with messy hair and eyes that carried both pain and hope. Nobody noticed him at first, just another homeless kid begging for food. But Emily saw him from her window, and for some reason, her heart beat faster. She didn't know it yet, but this boy was about to change her life forever. The next morning, Emily sat under a tree in the hospital garden, her pink dress bright against the green grass. She held her teddy close, her small feet hanging uselessly from the wheelchair. She felt so different from the other children. Then she heard tiny footsteps. She looked up and saw the same boy from yesterday, the boy in the old blue shirt. He smiled at her, his teeth a little crooked, but his eyes full of kindness. "You came back," Emily whispered. "Of course," the boy said proudly. "My name is Marcus. What's yours?" "Emily," she answered shyly. Marcus looked at her wheelchair. "So you've never walked?" Emily shook her head. "Never. My daddy is a doctor. He tried everything, but my legs don't listen." Marcus bent down until he was eye level with her. "Maybe they just need someone to believe in them," he said. Emily giggled a little. "Believe? They're just legs." Marcus stood taller and crossed his small arms. "Number? They're your legs, and I think they're waiting for you to try." Her heart beat faster. Nobody ever spoke to her like that. Adults always whispered, "She's broken, poor thing." But Marcus looked at her as if she wasn't broken at all. "Do you really think I can?" Emily asked, her little voice trembling. Marcus nodded. "Yes, and I'll help you." He gently placed her teddy bear on the grass and held out his small hand. "Take my hand, Emily. Just try." Emily's tiny fingers slipped into his. She felt his hand warm and strong, even though he was just a little boy like her. For the first time in her life, Emily thought, maybe, just maybe, she could. And that was the beginning of a miracle neither of them could imagine. The garden was quiet the next afternoon. Birds chirped softly, and the sun painted the sky a warm orange. Emily sat in her wheelchair, nervous but excited. She wore her favorite pink dress, and her teddy bear rested on her lap. Marcus, in his faded blue shirt, stood in front of her with a serious look on his small face. "Okay, Emily," he said. "Today we try for real." Emily's hands clutched the sides of her chair. "But what if I fall?" Marcus smiled. "Then I'll catch you." He gently held her tiny hands. "Now, push yourself up, slowly." Emily's little arms trembled as she tried. Her legs shook, weak and wobbly, as if they didn't know what to do. For a moment, her whole body swayed, and she cried out, "I can't." "Yes, you can," Marcus whispered. His voice was steady, like a rock. Don't think about falling. Just think about standing. With all her strength, Emily pressed down on the armrest. Her knees bent, her body shook, and suddenly her feet touched the ground. She wasn't sitting. She wasn't falling. She was standing. Tears filled her eyes. Marcus, I'm up. I'm really up. Marcus grinned so wide his cheeks hurt. See? I told you your legs were just waiting. But then Emily tried to take a step. Her right foot moved a little, but her knees gave way, and she collapsed into Marcus's arms. She burst into tears. I failed. I'll never walk. Marcus hugged her tightly. His voice was soft but firm. No, Emily, you stood today. That means tomorrow you'll take a step. Falling doesn't mean failing. Emily sniffled, her tears slowing. For the first time, her heart believed his words. Maybe, just maybe, she could walk one day. For days, Emily and Marcus met in the hospital garden. Each afternoon, he helped her stand, and little by little, she grew stronger. Sometimes she managed to take half a step before falling. Sometimes she just stood for a few seconds. But every time Marcus cheered, That's amazing, Emily. You're getting closer. Emily's smile grew brighter with each try. Her father, Dr. Carter, noticed how happy she seemed, but he didn't know why. Emily kept her secret, afraid that if she told, it would all disappear. Then one rainy morning, Marcus didn't come. Emily sat in her wheelchair by the window, her pink dress tucked under her legs, waiting and waiting. Hours passed. The garden was empty. The next day, he didn't come either, or the next. Finally, a nurse whispered to Emily, The little boy in the blue shirt? The police took him away. They said he stole bread from the market. Emily's heart broke. She clutched her teddy bear and cried, No, he didn't mean to. He was just hungry. Her father found her sobbing and knelt beside her. Emily, what's wrong? Through tears, she told him everything about Marcus, about standing, about trying to walk. Dr. Carter's eyes filled with shock. He listened in silence, holding her close. That night, Emily refused dinner. She stared at her motionless legs, whispering, I can't do this without him. The garden felt empty without Marcus's laugh. The hope he planted in her heart began to fade like a candle in the wind. Emily cried herself to sleep, her teddy bear soaked with tears. For the first time in weeks, she felt weaker, smaller, and lonelier than ever. She whispered into the darkness, Please, come back, Marcus. Please. The garden felt empty without Marcus. Days turned into a week, and Emily grew sadder with each sunrise. She no longer tried to stand. She sat quietly in her pink dress, clutching her teddy, watching the raindrops fall on the window. Her father tried to cheer her. Emily, you're still my strong little girl, he said, kissing her forehead. But Emily only shook her head. Daddy, I was strong because Marcus believed in me. Now he's gone. One afternoon, the sun finally returned after many rainy days. Emily wheeled herself into the garden, even though she felt no joy. She placed her teddy on her lap and whispered, I wish he was here. Didn't I tell you falling isn't failing? A familiar voice called. Emily's head shot up, her eyes widened. Marcus! There he was, standing by the gate, thinner than before, his old blue shirt even more worn, but his smile shining brighter than the Sunday. He ran to her, and she threw her arms around him, crying. I thought I lost you, she sobbed. I'm sorry, Marcus whispered. They kept me in the shelter, but I found a way back. I told myself I can't leave until I help you walk. Emily wiped her tears. Her tiny hands trembled. Will you help me again? Marcus nodded firmly. Yes, right now." He held her hands, pulling her gently up. Emily's legs shook, but this time she didn't fall so quickly. Step by shaky step, she began to move forward. Her father walked into the garden, frozen in shock. His little girl, his Emily, was walking, with Marcus holding her steady. "Daddy!" Emily cried, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Look, I'm walking!" Dr. Carter covered his face with his hands, his heart breaking and healing at the same time. And in that moment, the garden became a place of miracles. The hospital garden was filled with laughter that day. Emily's pink dress swayed as she took small steps, Marcus holding her hands tightly. Every step was shaky, but each one was stronger than the last. The little girl who had never walked was finally moving on her own. Dr. Carter stood frozen at first, his eyes wide in disbelief. Then tears rolled down his cheeks. "My Emily, my little girl is walking." His proud voice cracked as he dropped to his knees, arms wide open. "Daddy!" Emily cried, letting go of Marcus for a moment. Her tiny legs wobbled, but she pushed forward, one shaky step after another, until she fell into her father's embrace. Both of them wept, holding each other tight. When Emily looked up, Marcus was standing back with a shy smile. His old blue shirt was torn, his hair messy, but his eyes glowed with joy. "Marcus," Dr. Carter said, wiping his tears, "you did what the greatest doctors in the world could not. You gave my daughter her first steps." Marcus lowered his head. "I just believed in her." Dr. Carter stood, walked over, and placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. "From today, you are not homeless anymore. You will live with us. You are family now." Emily's eyes sparkled. She ran, or rather, stumbled quickly back to Marcus and hugged him tight. "See? I told you you're my hero." The news spread quickly. Surgeon's daughter walks with the help of a homeless boy. Reporters came, neighbors cheered, and the city marveled at the miracle. But to Emily and Marcus, it wasn't about the world. It was about friendship, hope, and love. From that day forward, Emily never felt broken again, and Marcus never felt alone again. Together, the little girl in pink and the little boy in blue proved something powerful. Sometimes the smallest hands create the biggest miracles.